Hey guys, welcome to Sprint 82. We got some more progress done on the YakShaver desktop app, so let's get right into it. So the sprint goal was to get the canary test, to get a canary test passed by Callum. Unfortunately, that was not done this week, as Callum was using the app more and more, and as we made more improvements, there were still more things and more features that he wanted to see before we rolled out. So that's what we focused the sprint on.
Callum, how many YakShaves did you do?
Good question. I'm not sure because, and that's one of the issues with our YakShaver desktop, is it's not yet recording them in the YakShaver portal. But I made many YakShaves with the new YakShaver desktop app.
Right. Okay. So you would have made about 10?
Thereabouts, maybe more.
Right. So yes, Lewis, no one's going to use it if they don't get their points for their YakShaves.
Yeah, and that is on the backlog.
Does it feel different to use? Like, is it faster, slower, more powerful? Like, what's?
I think it. I mean, this is one of the things that'll become clear when you see the done video that we're going to show later. But it feels like things are happening faster because you actually see step by step what it's doing.
I saw Bubba's done video.
Yeah. Whereas the current one, it's sort of like a black box that just tells you when it's done. So it might take the same time, but it just feels faster because you can see stuff happening.
Also, Callum has made 4 shaves from one video. So
4 shaves from one video.
Well, to get the terminology right, I feel like it's one shave that created 4 PBIs rather than 4 shaves in one video. Yeah, so you can do stuff like that as well. It's a lot more flexible with that sort of stuff.
I wonder how that works though, because each Power BI, does it have a video of the entire thing, or does it just have a subset of the video?
Yeah, we've got another issue on the backlog about putting timestamps on videos on the PBI, so that if you made multiple. Well, by the way, we're now getting into maybe the sprint planning. But if you got multiple PBIs in one video, it can split up the right timestamp for you. Anyway, carry on, Lewis.
Just holding to that excitement until we get to the planning. So we'll move on to the spreadsheet, the timesheets. So Stephen, Bubba, and I were on full time. Tom was on it for 2 days, and Callum some work into that sprint review. Let's go through some of the issues. So the first one I'm going to highlight is the YouTube link integration. So Stephen, do you want to go through this, but for the YouTube desktop app?
Yeah, sure. So previously we had the MCP to create the PBIs, but it doesn't include the YouTube links in it. And now I've intercepted the video link into the MCP orchestrator, so orchestrator can embed the video link into the PBI.
Yep. So this was something we didn't have before, the YouTube link. So we've just inserted in there.
Can I ask, when you say YouTube link, do you mean wherever the video is hosted link, the link to the video?
Currently we are only support YouTube yet, but in the future it should be all platforms.
Okay,
since the URL is just text, wherever it is, it should be able to put it in there.
It could be the company's Vimeo or.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
The next one is one about the costs for YakShaver and optimizing that. So Callum bumped up an issue that Chris reported about YakShaver costs, and we can see from the graph here that we're using up a lot of data every day for our logs, and the biggest culprit is this app metrics thing, which takes up maybe like more than half of each day's usage. So I had a look at it with Chris and Rick, and we decided that we should filter out some of these metrics because we're not currently using them right now, and they're taking up a lot of logging storage. So by reducing this, we could reduce the overall cost of YakShaver. So I initially did this over the weekend on staging as a test. So we can see the graph here. The app metrics are in red on staging, which is a bit confusing, but we can see that this was before the change. And after the change, it went down to about a quarter of the initial capacity or the number of times it was called. So this will hopefully reduce the amount of storage it takes up by a quarter for app metrics. And this
Yeah.
won't lose any of the logging that we're currently doing. This is separate to that. So we're still going to be able to track bugs, reports that come in, and any issues that occur. Any questions on this one? No?
Is there a dollar equivalent?
I guess right now it's taking $75 a month. So this should drop it. Let's say it's going to be about, let's see, it's 15 gigs. So this is like 20. So it's going to drop to about 5.
And does that scale with usage? So like if we had 100 times as much usage, would it cost 100 times $75?
That one, I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna have to I need to double check with someone like Rick.
I
who
feel
knows
like
more
it
about
would.
this.
So yeah, this is potentially an important thing to
Yes.
fix up
Mm.
before we scale. But
Optimize
for now,
before
I
we
guess
scale.
it's not that important.
Cool.
When was the last time you looked in the logs to get help on fixing a PBI, Lewis?
Probably last week.
Oh, so
But
you use the logs.
Yeah, I use the logs a lot because they provide a lot of information that we don't see.
Just not that part of the logs. Is that
Yeah,
right?
just not this part. Yeah, this stuff we don't
Right.
use.
Okay.
Cool. Any questions?
That's good.
Cool. I'll move on.
Awesome.
The next thing I want to talk about is Barbo's done video, where he did a done video for these two issues, MCP and API key validation and task execution. So Baba, do you want to go through them and we can play the done video
Yeah, sure.
when you're done?
So
Yeah.
first, MCP and API key validation, I just added health checks to MCP server UI and API key UI. So it shows if MCP servers are working or not by making requests in the background. Yeah. And if it doesn't work, it will show red icon with error message.
So I'll play a quick 10-second snippet of the done video.
To the next UI update. So for that, I will open MCP settings. Now we see this healthy indicator on MCP servers. This shows that this MCP server is working on user's machine.
So to be clear, before we added that, you had no way of knowing whether the MCP config was going to work until you actually tried to shave. But now it'll give you a tick to say it's going to work before you actually do it.
Nice. So same as the claw connectors. It has the
Exactly.
thing saying which ones are working, which ones aren't.
Yep.
Who came up with this UI? Who?
No one
Which
who's
part?
admitted
Which
the
part of
UI.
the UI? I did. I worked on this one.
Okay.
MCP indicator.
All right. What I would suggest is it would make sense if it looked a little like the ChatGPT style. And see the three buttons at the top, MCP, custom prompt, LM. I think you'd move all that under a cog. So you press a cog and then you see some things. And see how you've got your name Bubba there? I think you'd move that up to the top right-hand corner under a people profile thing. Yeah, and a whole bunch of other things I can see.
There are a lot of design improvements, and we discussed with the team. We will need like designers to give like design system for each pages.
Yes, but you can just do the best job you can before you give it to your designer. See how you've got all the progress stuff happening? Normally you'd have that hidden and you go, see more, and then it would expand out. But generally people just want a progress bar. It's a little bit scary, all this stuff. Yeah, your done video is excellent.
Thanks. And next issue is adding task. Giving more details when executing MCP MCP tools. So previously, there was no way to see if the results are being returned or arguments are being passed. Now we see more info here. If you play the video, yeah. Okay, so it created issues successfully. And if you take a close look to this MCP task execution, now we can see the result are being returned after each tool completed. And we can also see arguments are being passed and etc.
Cool.
Nice.
Now you expanded that, didn't you? So by default, that would just be a little thing waiting to become a tick,
Yeah.
right? But if you want to see
Yes.
all that detail, you can expand it.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yes.
Cool. And the next thing to talk about is this one by Tom. So he's not here today, so I'll talk for him. So this was about getting the user feedback for YakShaver. So this is still in progress. There's been a lot of progress made towards this. So Louis has created an email and has turned it into a form. So yakshaver.ai/feedback. We have this feedback form here. And the only thing that's left is to connect it with the current users that are signed up onto YakShaver and linking them to a Dynamics profile, because we have that linked right now. We didn't have that linked right now, so I guess Tom, when he comes back, or I can do it, go through with him and make sure that all of that information's on Dynamics so that we can get their feedback. So any questions on this? Or any feedback on the form?
When do we think that's going out?
It should be sometime this week. I'll try
And
to
is
prioritize.
this something that's just part of the like any new tenant will get this form, or is this something we have to do as a one-off?
I think what we want to do is send this to any tenant who has signed up and then maybe not shaved or not made many shaves after a couple of weeks.
I think theoretically we could send it to any tenant after a few weeks, right?
That's
Like,
true. I guess, yeah, we
Mhm.
want to get good feedback as well. True.
Yeah.
Is that possible to just put this into the workflow of there's some onboarding workflow email wise, isn't there? I can't remember. Can we just add this to the drip campaign or whatever?
I can talk to Louis about it because I'm not sure how that's working right now.
Yeah, okay.
But I think he might have a better idea.
Right.
I
Well, we
talk to
can
him.
mass send it to anyone who's had a tenant so far, but I think it would be good to have this ongoing.
Yeah.
I do note that the form is, I mean, just reading the questions, it looks like it's aimed at getting negative feedback rather than positive feedback, because there's no question about what are you loving about YakShaver. The first question, well, rate it, and then what's most annoying and frustrating, what do you wish it could do, and then what's your email. There's nothing about what it's doing well, which is why I said it's for people who aren't shaving. So maybe it needs a question about what is YakShaver doing well as well.
Maybe, but I mean, the most valuable feedback for us is what's annoying people, right? Like people saying I love it is nice, but we can't do any action based on that. And if there's too many questions, people might not bother doing the thing at all. So I think if someone loves it, they're just going to say there's nothing annoying, it's amazing, you know?
Yeah. So to get more people to fill it in, you only show the first question there. You know, give us a rating out of 5, and so they click it, and then it opens up what do you like, what you don't, because it's easy to get people to do it. Now, Lewis, have you contacted any of the people you know that have installed YakShaver?
I have not.
In the last week.
I have not.
So what you did is you put some effort into this, which is more scalable because more people can use this. But if you think about the end goal is to find out from customers what's blocking them or how they're using it, just to check it aligns with what we already think. You know, how people use it is what you want to understand. And the best way is conversations. So by messaging them, that's the best way of doing it. And then asking, can I have a quick call? I just want to know where you're up to and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I think partly was because Tom was talking to Louis about this. I kind of mistakenly just assumed that this will be a replacement. But yeah, I guess talking to someone will give you a lot more feedback than just a form. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
Any other questions on this?
Yeah,
All good.
just on that. So, like, the perfect scenario is that you end up with a bit of a relationship with the people, and they want to help you because they feel like they're important to you. You know, which is kind of what happened with a couple of previous people. So yeah, if you can talk to people specifically, this is good for scalability as well. But I'd do that as well.
Okay. And that's all that I want to mention. Are there any PBIs on here that you want to go into more detail, or I can move on?
Let me just quickly look. What's the recording toolbar minimize app window during recording? Is that what I asked for?
I don't remember, but it was when YakShaver, it's for the desktop app. Initially, when you clicked record, if you wanted to record, let's say a browser, and it was behind the YakShaver app wouldn't minimize. So you had to minimize it yourself. But now it will, similar to other recording software, when you click the record button, the recording software will just minimize so it doesn't appear on the recording.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, slightly different way I asked for, but it's good as well.
Anything else? No?
Good.
Oh, cool. I'll move on. Code coverage went up by 0.2% at 28.3. We did 1 production release for the Teams app, and we did 4 production releases for the desktop app. For the health overview, we had some 500 errors, which I had a look. They were health failures, but they seemed to fix on their own, which was a bit weird. And the availability was at 100%, so not too sure what was going on there. Fail requests, we had a few spikes. Those were 400s. Those were people accessing random HTML files, and everything else looks normal.
No, it does not. You're getting less server requests based on the right-hand one. So the server requests on the right are going down, but the response time is going up.
A theory about that I thought was sounded right.
Yeah, we had it's probably due to cold start. So you have more server requests, which means that it's more likely it's going to respond to you. It's going to get ready quicker. But then as the requests drop, it's going to cold starts more often, which means the average response time is dropping.
That's true. That's a very good explanation.
I thought so too. Yeah. Because I asked exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Because we've had this graph kind of flips every time. So I was also like, what's going on here? And I thought about it. I remember that was mentioned before. I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. So.
But the usage of YakShaver feels about the same.
What do you mean by that? Like usage in terms of like number of uses, right? Throughout the week?
Yeah. No, but the usage of YakShaver at the moment in SSW, I'm almost certain is about the same as normal. I don't have metrics, but it feels about the same. In 300 shaves the last 30 days, seems about right. Yeah, it's certainly. I don't think the usage is going down. So,
well, I mean that's only 1 week, and also the rightmost portion of the graph is the weekend, which is naturally going to have less usage.
Right.
So I don't think you can really read too much into that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Could we change these graphs to be 30 days? I think that would make more sense, wouldn't it? Or you just want to look at the last week, do you?
I think you want to look at the last sprint, right? Because otherwise, you now we did this last week. We're doing it again this week.
Okay. All right.
Baba, do you want to go through the leaderboard and the epics for this week?
So here's our YakShaver leaderboard for the last 30 days. And on top, we have Michaela with 41 shares, followed by Adam, Jake, and Tiago. And about the product roadmap, epics, there is a 9% increase for YakShaver Agent 2.0. And there are also new issues has been added to that epic. Any questions?
Baba, have you made any, like I gave you a whole bunch of things on the portal, UI, UX stuff? Is that coming soon?
I can't work on those issues last sprint. I worked on desktop app.
Right. Okay. And so you're working on the desktop app with Lewis, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And Stephen? All three working on the same thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think with regards to that, I think what we should do is just optimize for one shave. The same, because basically you want people to replace the usage of what they're doing now. And then as soon as that's done, then you can start looking at all the other multiple shaves and other things that MCPs can do.
Okay.
For backlog stats, so as of today, we had 101 new PBIs, 68 of them have the YakShaver label, there are 35 completed, and a change of 66. So we had a little bit of a dip in YakShaver labels. I think that is probably due to the team testing out the desktop app, which I don't know about other people. I forgot, I didn't add a thing that says add the YakShaver label. So I did it afterwards, but it was a bit too late. I already created a few without it.
So I'm a little worried about the number of PBIs in the backlog. I was looking at this late last week, and there's like 680 PBIs in the backlog now.
Yes.
Which is, like poor Callum. There's no way anyone can manage that. I don't know what to do about it, but we need to do something.
Yeah, I guess we've been doing the product backlog refinements every week, going through the issues and closing them as duplicates. But I guess we just got to do them quicker.
Yeah, I've been putting off thing because I figured we've got duplicate detection coming, which is going to help, and then maybe we could run that across the whole backlog. But yeah, we might need more than that. And in fact, maybe YakShaver should end up being a tool that helps us with this exact problem.
Well, it could. Once we've got the MCP connection, you could be doing that. And that, I am also hoping that is going to help out a lot. And obviously, if it doesn't, then we've got a bigger problem we need to sort out. But yeah, I'm still hopeful that once we get this thing up and running, it'll be able to solve this problem for us without too much effort.
Cool.
Yeah. So R&D, first Rick and I were looking into solutions to optimize the log analytics. So it took some time for us to kind of look through the documentation and to see how to filter out certain metrics that weren't being used. AI tools, so Baba is now using Cursor with Claude Sonnet 4.5. Tenant stats, so we had one new tenant.
Oh, sorry, quick question on that. Can I ask if anyone's been using Cursor 2.0? Like any of the new stuff?
I heard that came out.
Not yet.
Weekend.
What's the difference?
Multi-agent orchestration. I think it's a big one.
It's not that different if you'd already been using the background agents, but it's just sort of that style interface brought onto the desktop view.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
But yeah, it's cool.
Nice. Tenant stats. So we had one extra tenant, no new active tenants. So still at no shaves. SSW has done 94 shaves this week. Gear pilot stats. So during the review, retro, and planning, I talked the most, then Callum, then Stephen, then Baba, then Caleb. And for the main action point, so the primary action point is to implement an AI-assisted development workflow for the YakShaver desktop app, focusing on enabling easier testing and integration of AI-generated pull requests, with the goal of streamlining the development and testing process. So I think the team would kind of agree that is the main action point. And as you'll see, that's also our sprint goal for next week. So this will, to doing a workflow that allows us to make it easier to kind of ask Copilot or something to create a PR for us, and we can easily just test it without needing to
Right.
going all the trouble of switching branches or.
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool if we could make YakShaver like a self-improving app. As in, I YakShave an issue about YakShaver, and then the issue is implemented by an AI agent. It may be YakShaver, maybe Copilot, or maybe Codex, whatever you want. And then that creates a pull request, and then it automatically pushes an update to like a test YakShaver version, test build, or whatever we want to call it. And then I can immediately test what the AI has done, confirm it's all good, and then the dev guys can merge it in. And that way, all these like little YakShaver bugs that I'm raising, we should be able to solve hopefully a lot faster. Now, obviously, you want to use that to do like a major architectural change, because I think it would probably give you weird results. But for all this sort of stuff, like change the prompt, change to the UI, all these sorts of tweaks, I think it's definitely doable.
Nice.
How far away are we from saying change that button from blue to red and it auto does it?
You can do that now, I think.
Well, all right. What about if we say, and it's fine to use Copilot to get this done? So it actually, it's in the YakShave itself.
We should be able to assign it to Copilot just from you saying that in the video, because it'll use the tool to create the issue and assign it to Copilot. Yeah, it should work.
Okay. Can I ask Caleb? Can you test that works and see if you can get a button change from blue to red?
I don't know if mutual set.
YakShave it or just mentioned in the recording.
YakShave it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about.
Do you have an external tool like Snagit or?
No, I don't have an external tool set up, so I might not be the best person for it. I just use Teams.
Yeah.
We can save this for afterwards, after this meeting, and we can test it out.
Well, can I shave a task for Caleb to do in the next sprint? I'll do that now.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Let's do it.
Sec. Boom. You can tell me if I've misunderstood.
So now.
All right, I've got a task for the YakShaver team, and I want Caleb specifically to work on this. What I want you to test is inside YakShaver, can you ask for a very simple change, something like change this button from blue to red that I see on the screen on this page, whatever, and assign it specifically to Copilot or a cursor agent or Replit or whatever, some kind of coding agent, so that theoretically the end user's experience is developerless for that small change. Any changes to that, guys?
Do you want this to be done with the Teams app or the desktop app?
This with the new MCP.
The new set up with the desktop app. Cool.
Does it work with the old one?
Probably not.
If it was me, I would say try it with both just to confirm. And if it does work perfectly, then Caleb, please update the documentation to say how to, do it, to throw it into Copilot, and also consider seeing if the video that you did is worthy of sending off to the TV team and making a short out of it for the YakShaver channel. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Done.
Nice. Let's move on to the sprint retro. Callum, take it away.
All right. So one went well this sprint. Obviously, we're progressing towards the desktop app release. The more I use it, the more things I see that need to be fixed before we can get other people to use it. But I guess that's a good thing that I find it and not anyone else. So everyone will hopefully have a good first impression when they get their hands on it. Stephen mentioned he has been receiving positive feedback about the desktop UI. So I think a few people have sort of seen it over his shoulder and said, oh, wow, that looks interesting, that sort of thing. So that's good. And also Lewis said we had a lot of releases this week for the desktop app. So we had 4 releases, and obviously we're sort of getting those fixes deployed nice and quick, which is good. Hopefully they'll be even faster when We've got AI agents working in parallel on many small issues, and we'll be able to blast through heaps once that's ready. What didn't go so well? So the desktop app is.
I'm just going to
Adam.
tell you, my highlight was Bubba's video. Gave me a real window into it.
Yep, that was cool.
Experience it. That was awesome. So that was great. And I'd say my other highlight was learning that we really need that gamification in, because it would stop people from wanting to use it.
Yep, good point.
Sorry, I didn't understand that. What gamification?
Well, currently, if you shave in the desktop app, it won't show up on the leaderboard. So we wanted to connect that up.
Yeah, gotcha. Another little pro, Adam did his YakShaver talk again this weekend at the Agent Con and got good response. So that's cool.
Actually, everybody thought it was amazing. And I was a bit worried. I'd gone a bit heavy on the sales. Like I was showing, I showed a lot of just talking about how awesome YakShaver is, and I showed a few extra videos and different things. It was not that technical, more salesy. And I asked people, and everyone said, "No, it was so awesome." You know,
is there any action for us afterwards? Like, do we need to follow up with anyone? Is anyone going to use it? Did you do the thing where you sometimes give people like 3 months of or?
I did. I offered that, and I told them to email me.
Okay.
So
cool. So if any emails come through, forward them onto the team.
Be cool if we had an eagle eye tag to automatically capture those, but that's another topic. All right. Anything else that went well this sprint?
So Yuli, so Adam, where was the demo done? What was the event
Brisbane.
called? Just at
Brisbane AI conference, 150 people.
In the SSW Brisbane office as well.
Yep, packed.
Wow.
All right. Anything else that went well? Or I'll move on. What didn't go so well? So obviously the desktop app's taking a bit longer than expected. I think it was our sprint goal 3 sprints ago, maybe, to have it running, but it's obviously taking a bit longer than that. I think maybe my demo that I did, like, it only took 1 weekend to get that demo running. May have set false expectations. Obviously, making a real app takes a bit longer than that. And Lewis mentioned our code is already a bit messy. Maybe that's down to us not having as much, or this team at least not having as much experience in Electron. But I think we've already sort of refactored some of that this sprint, so hopefully that'll be better moving forward. Do anyone have anything to add to the what didn't go well section?
I would just say that it feels like the team is not using it themselves. It feels like it's just Calm using it. Maybe that's wrong. And the UI is too messy. And I think I need to speak to Bubba. I could give him a bunch of small things just so it didn't look ugly.
Hopefully you'll be able to give them to an agent to do.
Oh yeah.
Once we've got that ready.
Well, if it's ready, Bubba, for me to YakShave some simple things, then we'll speak and I'll give you some stuff.
Okay.
Awesome. And what needs to improve? So Lewis said getting designers to check components and working with them to get a design system.
Can I ask you a question about that? Because yes. I joined the design summary last week, and they were talking about design systems. They said they need 2, one for SSW, which would include all SSW products, and one for Tina, for the Tina products. So I don't believe they're doing any work on either one, though. I think they're working on other stuff. So I don't think it's coming.
Right. Sorry, who were you talking to, Uli?
It was in the sprint review, so it was the whole team.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Well, I mean, like Adam said, I think we want to aim to be sort of a little more self-sufficient and at least have something basic, and then we can asynchronously hand it to them to polish up. But yeah, there probably are a bunch of low-hanging fruit we can improve without designers first.
100%. Yeah.
Cool. And then the other what needs to improve from me was just basically implementing those AI development practices that I mentioned. I think That could also form a rule, an SSW rule about using AI to write code and making sure you've got the right sort of testing process and that sort of thing. So that'll be good output as well. And that was it for a retro, unless anyone else has what needs to improve.
I love the idea of that.
Well, yeah. Just on the what didn't go well, Lewis, just you said UI issues, just say UI ugly, like UI is busy or something. It's not issues. Yeah. UI is busy. Yeah. Yep. And the one above is about dog feeding. Okay.
Bracket. Dog feeding.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, dog feeding.
At the moment, everyone's just feeding me the pet dog, but we all need to be
that's right.
eating it.
Yes.
Now, Lewis, have you ever been on a project where there was a design system?
No, I've only been on YakShaver.
Right. So what makes you so convinced you need to spend like a couple of designers want to spend a month on a design system and you've never used one, but you're saying we need it?
It was just from talking to designers, that's what they will mention. Do you have a design system? And I would say no. And it's like,
yes.
Well,
you've got to ask, why would we need one? Show me an example. Well, you've got to become convinced more than just somebody mentions it's a good idea, because it's very, very expensive.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And companies like Adobe make a design system for a lot of assets. A little tool being built on a shoestring typically doesn't.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Adam, theoretically, it would be across all of our assets, across all products, all consulting, all websites, or everything. So theoretically, it might be worth doing, but it's borderline for me.
Yeah. I'm just encouraging Lewis to dig deeper than just repeating a statement that he heard.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I got a bridge to sell you.
All right. Cool. That's all for the retro. Let's move on to the planning.
Fun part. Let me guess. Getting the MCP working.
Steven, do you want to kick off the planning for next sprint?
Yeah, sure. So for the sprint goal for the next sprint, as we have aware, we are investigating a way to adding AI assistants to the development, and we are trying to find a way how do we integrate the AI assistants development into our flow. That's the goal. And for the work items for the next sprint, first we're going to continue working on those PBI that is still in progress. And also the goal, we add the AI assisted development workflow. We're going to investigate it. And also adding Gonna we have pulled the leaderboard work item into next sprint. So I'm going to work on that as well. And also there are some bugs fixed and some bugs investigation.
That thing that we shaved earlier, I think we should put in for Caleb to do a quick test to see if he can allocate an item to, the SWE agent or whatever.
Yep, I can add that to the sprint. Easy.
Cool. By the way, we shaved it. It was a terrible shave. It completely misunderstood. It thought we were asking it to change the button from blue to red. I want my GPT-5.
It's sort of it's confusing, I guess, because it's sort of a meta shave. It's a shave asking him to do a shave.
I think this is a problem with using last year's AI. We need a better brain,
right?
Which we should be able to get.
So, any questions on the TBIs that we planned for next sprint? No. Right. That is all for the sprint. For this sprint review. So this video will be on the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for joining me for this sprint. I'll see you next week. See you guys.
See ya.
Yeah. Thanks, Lewis.